When you're the provider of utility services to 100,000 people, anything that interrupts that service is immediately a very critical issue. And when Tropical Storm Faye came through this area in August of 2008, it caused pressure surges in a force main here in Tallahassee that interrupted service to approximately a quarter of the city. It resulted in large sewage spills, as well as causing capacity issues for us, the continuation of services. So we're faced with a critical dilemma. It was causing tremendous traffic disruptions on a 6-lane highway, and we were searching for the most expeditious way to restore service. We looked at relocating the pipeline and a number of solutions, and came up with one that's fairly unusual. It's called pipe bursting. Pipe bursting is a construction technique where you essentially put a device down the existing pipe that breaks it out of the way and pushes it off into the dirt to the side and pulls a new pipeline liner down the existing pipe. When you're complete, you'll have a continuous new pipeline along the same alignment but inside where the old pipe was, and it avoids having to excavate down the center line of a 6-lane highway. That was the attractiveness of the technique, as well as the speed at which it can be done. We can do 500 feet in 2 days with this technique.
We decided to do a pilot project to learn more about the technology before we embark in the rest of the replacement project. We have talked to DOT, who has to issue the permit for this job, and they wanted to replace the pipe with minimum disturbance to the surface and also to the median and the landscape. So before we went ahead and did the whole project, they wanted to see what the impact would be of this trenchless technology on the actual driving pavement on Capitol Circle. We have selected a piece of about 280 feet of pipe to be replaced as part of this pilot project. They set a launching pit, a receiving pit. From the launching pit, they insert the head of the pipe bursting equipment, which is called the expander. And attached to the expander is the new pipe that goes into the existing pipe. They start from the launching pit, and then on the receiving pin, they had a winch that guides the machine through the existing pipe. And as the head of the equipment goes into the existing pipe, it physically breaks the existing pipe in many pieces and opens the way for the new pipe to go in the existing pipe and replace it.
This is a 24-inch bursting tool with a 36-inch dips expander, which is developed by TT Technology out of Chicago. This is a pneumatic tool, which means it's run by air and pulled by cable. And the way it works is the air runs the tool, which moves it along, which hits the expander and breaks the old pipe out of the way. With the tool and the expander, and if you're pulling around 500 feet of pipe, you're really talking 69,000 pounds of material you're pulling through the ground.
We are using what is called high-density polyethylene pipe, which is a very thick pipe and has a very lengthy useful life. We anticipate that this new pipe will last many, many, many years to come. And we will be able to have a more reliable line in the ground.
This is 36-inch DIP pipe, which when you get ready to put this in the ground, you'll fuse these joints together. This is a fuse machine. You put your pipe through here, you cut the ends square. You know, when it's square, you bring the heat plate, which is at 500 degrees. It'll melt it till it's ready to be pushed together, and you push it together with pressure, and that's how you fuse the pipe together. And then you pull it out through here, and keep going with joint after joint. And then attach them to the tool. Once they're fused together, they'll be pulled down through the ground. What you hear is when underneath the ground, and this type of a tool here has got a lot of sound. It actually puts the air through the tool, which moves the tool along, and it's hitting this expander right here, which will make it sound like a boom, 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 boom. It's a technology that actually they developed in Europe years ago. The old gas lines, the sewer lines became deteriorated, and they had to replace them. And by this technology here, you can replace them without digging them all up to replace them. And they're replacing with a pipe that really is going to last 50 to 100 years.
At the end, when the job is completed, you have 280 feet of pipe in the ground with minimal disturbance to the surface of the road. We were successful in this pilot project. We completed that in about a 3-day period, working around the clock. We learned at the completion of the project that it was a feasible method to replace the rest of the pipe. The section of the pipe that is damaged is about 8,000 feet in length. So what we're doing is, based on what we learned from this pilot, now we are going ahead and replacing the rest of the pipe using the same technology, using pipe bursting technology.
There are about 26,000 customers that rely on this pipeline for their sanitary sewer service, and we have been routing those flows through other parts of the system, but as you can imagine, the other parts of the system are not adequate for those flows, or we wouldn't have this pipeline to start with. So we really need to get this back in service so that people have reliable sanitary sewer service.
We started the pipe bursting pilot in August, and we anticipate to finish the entire project by the end of February or early March of 2010. That is the schedule that we have planned. We can advance and do this work much faster with this technology than if we had to do it through traditional methods of open cut replacement. So, because the city needs to put this line back in service fairly quickly, because the potential for environmental damage, then there is a substantially benefit to the community in replacing this pipe as quickly as we can. And we have proven with this pilot that this is the best and quickest and most efficient way to being able to put this line back in service.
So we hope to get everything patched back together so that we're not damaging the environment, and everybody can count on being able to flush with confidence on the northeast side of town.